Going through losing a home multiple times and living a life of survival has taught me many lessons about money. I had read many books from the top 1% wealthiest and adopted habits that I use today. So I'm going to give you 5 habits, and none of them require a big income. All of them require just a mindset shift. The first habit that I use is thrift shopping. And I think I have talked about this before, but I buy everything used. Well, almost everything. Mostly the important things that are very costly, that depreciate in their value, or maybe I just can't afford it. I go thrift shopping all the time. So I go to thrift stores and I return stuff that I'm no longer using, and then I pick up other things. I can buy presents for my son and get him shirts because he hates shopping. So I find a lot of great stuff at the thrift store. And the outfit I'm wearing today is actually all thrifted. The other thing that I purchase used, well, my bike, for instance. I have a bike that is a mountain bike. They are extremely expensive, brand new. But I happen to have a friend that was selling her gently used bike and was purchasing a new one. And I said, I want it. So I purchased my e-bike and saved thousands of dollars because I bought it used, and it works just perfectly fine. I took it to the bike store. I had them give it a tune-up, make sure everything was good to go. And I enjoy going out there riding the trails all the time. I bought my motorhome used. And one of the things that I have learned about the RV life since I'm a certified RV inspector is that so many of these things are not made well at all. And people want to get out there. They want to go camping. So what do? They go find something new that's shiny and glossy that they found at an RV show, and they get a loan. They make payments on it. And then the minute you take it off that lot, it depreciates in value by thousands of dollars, you guys. And then what happens? You may have stuff covered under warranty, but a lot of stuff isn't covered under warranty. Maybe you're out there and you forget to put the awning in, and then it goes sideways and you have to get it repaired. They're not going to cover that for you because it was your fault. Anytime they can make a claim that it is not under the warranty, they will. So what I chose to do is I chose to get something that I could afford with cash. And it was a 20-year-old motorhome, but they are made very well. They had a good reputation, which a lot of RVs don't. And I found one that had been taken care of really well, and I purchased it with cash. I have 0 monthly payment on this thing, and it has been working for me for the last 5 years. And I do put money into it every single year. I'm not going to lie. You have to have a reserve amount of money for any repairs that are needed. But guess what? It still isn't even close to what I would be losing in value every year from owning it or from putting repairs in out of pocket plus making a monthly payment. The second habit I want to talk about is saving and investing. And even if you can just save a small amount of money, you will be ahead of most people. So in full transparency, and I have mentioned this in other videos, I am working towards paying off all of my debts. And I always have an emergency fund, and I always still contribute to a retirement fund. And the reason is I'm not young anymore. I don't have as many years as a person in their 20s and 30s. I'm in my 50s, so I have to start saving towards retirement. So I went and opened a Fidelity account, and I contribute a small amount per month. When all of my debts are paid off, I'm going to increase that amount by a lot. But for now, even if you contribute a small amount per month, that is going to grow. So it's not too late to start. I'm starting in my 50s, and you can do it too. What I also learned from all of my past bad habits is that having an emergency fund, or at least having enough money in your account to make at least a month's worth of your bills, preferably 3 months. But if you are in a very tight situation, you want to have at least like $1,000, but I say have about $5,000 in an emergency fund, especially if you're an RVer. If you are out on the road like I am and you're in an RV, things can happen, things break down, and having $5,000 as a cushion can be really helpful. But if you can't do that, even just $1,000 can help you. Anything. Have an emergency fund of at least $1,000 up to $5,000 so that you can make your monthly payments, and then you can avoid having to put things on a credit card when things break down on the road. And believe me, it happens. The third habit that has helped me so much is eating at home. Now, I am a food lover, and I used to eat out all the time when I was younger. I was all about, let's go to this restaurant. I want to go to that restaurant. I want to try this and try that. And I ate until I was completely stuffed. I can't really do that anymore with my age. I can't eat till I'm stuffed because it hurts too much. But I still love food and I always enjoyed cooking. And I know there are many of you out there that are going to say, I hate cooking. Well, I get it. But you can make simple meals, and you can find now with YouTube, you can find people that are cooking channels and they cook all day long. Whatever your style of eating is, you can find channels out there that have that, and they make simple meals. Some people, like even on my channel, I am the type of person that almost every video for you guys, I put in a meal that I made, and they're relatively easy. They're for small spaces. They're like meals that sometimes you can have leftovers. Like I have made a pork roast and turned that into many meals. You can cook something and then you can freeze it in batches. So there are so many ways that you can save money, but I'm telling you, the way food is, when I go out to a restaurant, and I've had to do it when I'm enjoying the company of somebody else, maybe we meet for a lunch, and that's the other trick. If you meet for a lunch instead of a dinner, you're going to save money because lunches are sometimes a lot less expensive than a full-blown dinner. Or you pick a place that is still quality food, but is a little more economical. And I might just go get a soup and a salad. I don't go and get like a big filet mignon steak. I mean, there's always opportunity for something like that if that's what you desire, but reduce that amount to maybe going out to eat once a month versus 3 times a week. I know people, like I think about my son. He is on the go all the time, and he realized that he was spending so much money on his way home from work every day getting fast food, which in your 20s you can get away with that, and you can go home and then you're full and you don't have to worry about cooking. But when he took a look at what he was actually spending per month, he was astounded. Because even if you get fast food, it's 20-30 bucks. It's not as inexpensive as it used to be. You can get a whole rotisserie chicken, you can cook it, and you can break off the meat and make different things with it. You can use salads. Now I choose, because I live in an RV, for convenience, I will buy the already pulled chicken. You've seen me do that on my channel. And yes, that is more expensive. However, it's less expensive than eating out. So I budget for my groceries. I do spend on my food, but I eat in instead of eating out. The fourth habit, or I guess I should just say the other thing that you could do, is get a side hustle. So this is what I've learned through all my years of going through losing a house, losing jobs, and really realizing that nothing lasts forever, is I have multiple streams of income. So this can help me in times when they are tough. Now, there are times that I don't get as many inspections. If I move to a different area, if I'm out in an area that is away from a city, or maybe it's just a lull in the purchasing, I won't get inspections. The first few years that I had this business, I decided I really need to start focusing on earning income in multiple ways. And so I started my first YouTube channel, and it did take a while for me to earn anything off of YouTube. If you aren't aware, it is extremely difficult to get to a point where you start earning money and the ad revenue is really just like change. It's like you earn, when you earn your first $100, you're so excited about it, but you work your tail off to get that $100. Now, after your channel starts to make some money and you really figure out what your audience wants, it does get better. And between my 2 channels now, I can earn, so it really varies. I can earn between $1,000 and $3,000 a month. And that is right now at this period in time and at where I'm at. But also, I started creating ebooks, because you can take anything that you've learned in your life, whatever kind of career you have had, and if you like to talk, like I do, you can talk about it and you can teach other people. So what I've decided to do is, I really wanted to talk to people about this lifestyle, so I created the second channel. But on my first channel, it's just really all about bringing in inspections and bringing in business. And I also created ebooks. So I have ebooks to help people out there. So while you're serving your community and helping them, you can also earn some money off of that. I also have a newsletter, and in the newsletter, there are people that donate by buying me a coffee. And in that, because of that, I have a little extra money that I can use towards my coffee fund. See how that works? Like, you create a way that you can earn some things to help you with other things. My business is a business that goes up and down. YouTube revenue goes up and down. Sometimes I don't make hardly anything. If a video, people aren't liking my videos and they're not watching them, I'm not earning anything. But if real people really resonate with something that I'm saying, and it tends to go like more, I don't want to say viral, but it gets out there and there's more of a reach and a need for the information I'm providing, then I tend to make more money. So getting a side hustle, if you are retired, you could go on YouTube, or you could write books, or you could become an Amazon affiliate. That's another way to earn income. There's so many ways. Now, again, the income isn't a ton of money, and you have to always take and learn more about whatever it is you're doing every day. Every day I sit down for 1 to 3 hours and I learn something that gets me 1% better. Again, that 1%. So following the steps of the 1% out there that make a lot of money, these are habits that they all have. They read books, they learn all the time, they don't go around flashing up their money all over the place. They will drive old beat up cars. There's a lot of things to this. And when you really dive down and figure out what are people doing out there that actually have the money? What are they doing differently than what I'm doing? They're being frugal. Another thing I want to point out is staying in different, like if you are like me and you live full time on the road, a way to save money would be to stay at state campgrounds. If you need to stay at campgrounds with electricity, because like me, I need to be cool in this hot environment, I will try to stay in state campgrounds. They're way less expensive than RV parks or resorts. And the other thing is you could boondock. If you even do that part of the year, where you can go to a place where you're actually essentially living free, you are saving money throughout the whole year. You are saving money. So there are ways to do that. The fifth habit that I want to talk about is not depriving yourself so much that you don't have fun. You want to budget for fun, not just survival. So I do have fun. I do things. I don't just feel like Dave Ramsey would say, eat beans and rice. I don't eat beans and rice. I can't do it. I know that if I tried to do that for myself, I would be setting myself up for failure. And that's what a lot of people do. It's like the all or nothing thing. If you say, I'm going to lose 100 pounds or 20 pounds even, and I'm going to go work out every single day and I'm going to eat lettuce, you are going to fail because you set yourself up for failure. I can't live like that with my personality. I do need to have fun, and I do need to be able to purchase some things. So I budget for that, and I allow myself to go do things that are fun. And it can be small things. Like I bought a used bike, and now I get to go have a biking experience. I get out on the trails. I take a day off where I can ride my bike and I can see so many beautiful things. I can be in nature, which I absolutely love. I could go for an amazing hike, and it really doesn't cost anything to do those things. What it does cost is probably the entrance fee to the park. I have to pay, even in Colorado, I have to pay $80 for each vehicle just to go into the state parks for the year. But that's something that I budget for and I allow myself to do. There are other things that you might want to do. Go to the movies. I'm going to a movie today because I'm super excited to see this movie that came out that I heard was really good. It's called Disclosure Day. I budget myself to go to a matinee. So instead of going to a movie in the evening that costs more, I will go to a matinee, which is the matinee price. I will go to a coffee shop and get a latte. Again, I tie that back into, I do get some income in for my coffees for the month, but I allow that because it brings me joy, and it's not something that I try not to do that every single day. I can make coffee at home, which is absolutely delicious. But if I want to have an experience, maybe go to a bookstore, and maybe I just want to browse books. The whole point of this video is that you don't want to deprive yourself to the point that you have zero fun and you're depressed about it, but you want to try to follow steps, follow what the 1% do. They're very frugal. They buy used. They'll drive around beater cars. And even though they have money, they look poor. Okay, so these are the habits that work. These are the habits that help you save money so that you can have freedom in life. So you don't always need to have that fancy house. You don't always need to have that fancy car. You don't need to have the latest and greatest brand new RV out there that costs well over $100 grand. You can get something that has been gently used and you can pay cash for, and then you can get out there and enjoy your freedom.